Hello, this is Dr. Higginbottoms. Today's subject is on the quandary of the origin of words. Did they evolve, or were they created? I believe they were created. According to history, God created man and put him in the Garden of Eden. Soon afterwards, man, whose name was called Adam, began the laborious task of naming things and animals and coming up with words. This had to be a tremendous task. All day long he would come up with words, like the giraffe or the sycamore tree. Apparently he took this job very seriously. He had to be very creative. He must have worked very hard to come up with imaginative words like turtle, or exotic things like gorilla or cockatoo, even nectarine. But I surmise that towards the end of a long, tiresome day, he began to make shortcuts, as it were, coming up with words like orange or blackbird, or when he was pressed to be more definitive, he'd say red-winged blackbird. He must have done this day after day, and after a while he probably began to busy himself figuring out things like the fact that cats have 32 muscles in each ear, or that crocodiles can't stick out their tongue. He learned that it was impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. He experimented with fertilizer. He also discovered that eating recycled food was a bad idea. But after a time, he must have become very lonely. One can only imagine living in paradise without a female. Must have been very difficult indeed. He must have seen the other animals getting mates and mating. He must have had a pretty good idea of the mating process by then. In fact, I believe he probably already had a name for it. It must have been at this time that God made Eve. My guess is that God named her because one can only begin to comprehend what kind of hormonal stress Adam must have been under. God only knows what name Adam might have blurted out when he first laid eyes upon the female. But then again, upon reflection, oh my God was already taken. In fact, for all we know, the name Eve might have translated into, hey, have we met somewhere before? Or do you come here often? I wonder what changes took place after Eve arrived. It is apparent that things of discovery began to wane just a bit. Adam spent what seemed like forever mesmerized by her beauty. After a while, he actually discovered that women blink twice as much as men. After a while, living with Adam, I would imagine that Eve came up with the word bath. As time marched on, many more words were created. Words did not just crawl out of the ocean or fall from the sky. No, I think not. Evolution versus creation? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. That's all.